This is The Elegant Oxford with your host, Preston Soto. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's video is a little different than most. I'm going to be re-dyeing and restoring this Coach purse. And I don't I don't work on purses very often. In fact, I think this is probably the first purse I've ever worked on. I've worked on other bags, and I have another video about that. But in today's video, I'm going to be restoring this purse. The owner wanted a bright lipstick red color, so I'm going to be doing that with Angelus red dye. So it's not oxblood, it's not burgundy, it's actually red, so it's going to pop really bright. It's actually really windy today. It's supposed to rain here in San Diego, so I know the light's going to be fluctuating here and there, so I apologize for that beforehand. It's pretty windy, so I'm sorry if you hear a lot of strong wind. But let's get started. I'm going to have to clean the bag, make sure there's no dust, debris on it, and then I can get to dyeing it. Okay, so I'm going to remove the handles on this bag just to make this job a lot easier. There we go. Should make things a lot easier. So I have both of them right here. I'm going to set them off to the side. Okay, I'm also going to remove the Coach tag just so that doesn't get in the way. Okay, and the bag's already been prepped. I just used a mixture of water and rubbing alcohol just to make sure the bag is clean and free of anything that could prevent the dye from setting in. So let's get started with the dye. So this is obviously going to be a really careful and meticulous process. I'm going to have to use brushes later on to get into the fine details. But right now I'm going to be using the cotton pom-pom applicator. Alrighty, so just be really gentle. Just go over it like this. Rubbing it in gently where you can. Here we go. Now the owner said it's okay if I end up dyeing the white stitching. She's okay with that, so we're just going to go over it like that. Okay, I made sure to ask her because I know some people really value the white stitching, but she said no, go ahead and dye over that, so we're in good hands. I'm not too worried about that. Okay, now alright, let's get started on the other side right here. Use the brush just to get into the crevice. It's honestly a lot like painting. Just got to make sure that you get everything how it's supposed to be. Okay, now it might seem a little darker at first. Dye always goes on dark. Don't worry about it. It's gonna dry and look pretty even. So just take your time. Just be really meticulous. Don't rush a project like this, or it's not going to turn out as good as it could have turned out. So. Okay, like I mentioned before, just make sure that you have that line. Okay? Just be meticulous and precise. And then you can use the applicator and just make sure that dye's in there really well. There's a lot of birds today. Okay, I know it looks dark. It's going to dry even though. It's just because it's wet. So don't be too worried about that. Alright everyone, as you can see, the areas that have been dyed are a good red color, while other areas of the purse, you can see a contrast between these two areas, are still kind of pink and faded. So I'm going to keep at it, and I'm going to keep dyeing the rest of the bag, and I'll come back when I'm done, and then we'll go over some of the ways you can make sure the bag looks great for years to come. Remember to be careful when applying dye to the small areas like the tassels. You might have to come back for 2 or 3 coats, or even use a small hairline brush to get into those small little tiny areas so that everything is uniform and colored correctly. Also, don't forget to wear gloves. Dye isn't really good for your skin and it gets everywhere, and once it's on your skin it's pretty hard to take off. Soap and water really won't get it off. You might need something stronger like paint thinner or acetone. So wearing gloves just makes this part a whole lot easier because you're really going to be applying dye everywhere and it's going to really get under your fingernails and then it's just a mess. Alright, we are all done. The bag and the accessories are all dyed red. Now I'm going to go over with some acetone and I'm going to clean off some of the dye that got onto the metal components here just to make sure it's all clean. And then I'll put it all back together once it dries because it still has to dry for about a day or two and then we should be good to go. Okay, the bag's all done. As you can see, I got every inch of the bag, even inside the pockets, all the way down in the liner, both sides. I made sure to get the leather straps, even the little tassels you hear on the side. So everything looks great. I'm really happy with how this came out. As you can see, once the dye dried, there were no more dark spots. It all looks really uniform. It all looks really great. I just got to let these dry. It smells really strong. But overall, I'm really happy with how this came out. I'm going to put this all back together and then I'm going to present it for the final presentation. This was actually really fun. I'm glad I got to do it, and I always take pleasure in working on non-shoe items. It's always an adventure. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and share for more content in the future. Make sure to check out my other videos as well if you'd like to learn more about shining your shoes. Look for me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Elegant Oxford for more. Remember to care for your shoes so that they'll last you for years to come. Always put your best foot forward. The small details matter most, so don't forget to #ShineYourShoes. I'll see you next time.